Ezekiel, or Ezekiel, chapters 42 and 43. And he brought me out into the outer courtyard, the way toward the north. And he brought me into the room which was opposite the separate place, and which was opposite the building to the north. Along the length, which was 100 cubits, was the north door. The width was 50 cubits. Opposite the inner courtyard of 20 cubits, and opposite the pavement of the outer courtyard, gallery against gallery, was in 3 levels. And before the rooms, toward the inside, was a walk 10 cubits wide, a way of 1 cubit, and their doors were to the north. And the upper rooms were shorter, because the galleries took away space from them more than from the lower and middle levels of the building. For they were in 3 levels and had no columns like the columns of the courtyard. So the upper level was set back more than the lower and middle levels from the ground up. As for the outer wall by the side of the rooms, toward the outer courtyard facing the rooms, its length was 50 cubits. For the length of the rooms toward the outer courtyard was 50 cubits, and that facing the Hakal was 100 cubits. And below these rooms was the entrance on the east side, as one enters them from the outer courtyard. In the thickness of the wall of the courtyard towards the east, opposite the separate place and opposite the building, were rooms. And the way in front of them was like the appearance of the rooms which were toward the north, as long and as wide as the others, and all their exits and entrances were according to the plan. And according to the doors of the rooms that were toward the south, there was a door in front of the way in front of the wall toward the east, as one enters them. And he said to me, the north rooms and the south rooms, which are opposite the separate place, are the set-apart rooms where the priests who approach Yehovah eat the most set-apart offerings. There they place the most set-apart items, and the grain offering, and the sin offering, and the guilt offering, for the place is set apart. When the priests enter, they are not to go out of the set-apart rooms into the outer courtyard, but leave their garments in which they attend there, for they are set apart. And they shall put on other garments, and shall draw near to that which is for the people. And when he had ended measuring the inner house, he brought me out through the gate that faces east, and measured it all around. He measured the east side with the measuring rod, 500 rods by the measuring rod all around. He measured the north side, 500 rods by the measuring rod all around. He measured the south side, 500 rods by the measuring rod. He turned to the west side and measured 500 rods by the measuring rod. On the 4 sides he measured it. It had a wall all around, 500 cubits long and 500 wide, to separate the set-apart places from the common. Chapter 42. And he led me to the gate facing east, and see, the esteem of Elohim of Yisra'el came from the way of the east, and his voice was like the sound of many waters, and the earth shone from his esteem. It was like the appearance of the vision which I saw, like the vision which I saw when he came to destroy the city. And the visions were like the vision which I saw by the river Kabar. And I fell on my face. And the esteem of Yehovah came into the house by way of the gate facing east. And the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner courtyard. And see, the esteem of Yehovah filled the house. And I heard someone speaking to me from the house, while a man stood beside me. And he said to me, Son of man, this is the place of my throne, and the place of the soles of my feet, when I dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. And the house of Israel shall no longer defile my set-apart name, they nor their sovereigns, by their whoring and by their corpses of their sovereigns on their high places. When they placed their threshold by my threshold, and their doorpost by my doorpost, with a wall between them and me, They defiled my set-apart name by the abominations which they've done. So I consumed them in my displeasure. Now let them put their whoring and the corpses of their sovereigns far away from me, and I shall dwell in their midst forever. Son of man, explain the house to the house of Israel, and when they are ashamed of their crookednesses, they shall measure the measurements. And since they shall be ashamed of all that they did, make known to them the design of the house and its structure, and its exits and entrances, its entire design, and all its laws, and all its forms, and all its Torot, and write it down before their eyes, so that they observe its entire design and all its laws, and shall do them. This is the Torah of the house. Upon the mountaintop, all the boundary of it, all around, is most set apart. See, this is the Torah of the house. And these are the measurements of the slaughter place in cubits, that cubit being 1 cubit and a handbreadth, and the base 1 cubit high and 1 cubit wide, with a rim all around its edge of 1 span. And this is the upper part of the slaughter place. And from the base on the ground to the lower edge 2 cubits, and the width of the ledge 1 cubit, and from the smaller ledge to the larger ledge 4 cubits, the width of the ledge 1 cubit. And the hearth is 4 cubits high, and 4 horns extending upward from the slaughter place hearth. And the slaughter place hearth is 12 cubits long and 12 wide, square at its 4 corners. And the ledge is 14 long and 14 wide on its 4 sides, with a rim of a half a cubit around it, and its base 1 cubit all around, and its steps face east. And he said to me, Son of man, thus said the Master Yehovah, these are the laws for the slaughter place on the day when it is made, for offering ascending offerings on it, and for sprinkling blood on it. And you shall give a young bull for a sin offering to the priests, the Levites, who are of the seed of Tzedok, who approach unto me, declares the Master Yehovah. And you shall take some of its blood, and put it on the 4 horns of the slaughter place, on the 4 corners of the ledge, and on the rim all around it, and shall cleanse it and make atonement for it. And you shall take the bull of the sin offering, and shall burn it in the appointed place of the house, outside the set-apart place. And on the 2nd day you bring a male goat, a perfect one, for a sin offering. And they shall cleanse the slaughter place, as they cleansed it with the bull. When you have ended cleansing it, bring a young bull, a perfect one, and a ram from the flock, a perfect one. And you shall bring them before Yehovah, and the priests shall throw salt on them, and offer them up as an ascending offering to Yehovah. Prepare a goat for a sin offering daily for 7 days, and prepare a young bull and a ram from the flock, perfect ones. For 7 days they shall make atonement before the slaughter place, and cleanse it and ordain it. And when these days are completed, it shall be on the 8th day and thereafter that the priests make your ascending offerings and your peace offerings on the slaughter place, and I shall accept you, declares the Master Yehovah.